She's done it! Madison Keys is a major champion. Wow, contrasting emotions. But for Keys, Aryna, Alicia, who turned pro at 14, so much was expected of her. And maybe she thought it would never happen.
An incredible effort. The crowd showing their appreciation. Madison Keys, the player with the longest gap, 8 years between their first women's singles Grand Slam final in the open era and then the next, the record previously set by Mauresmo. That's a dejected Sabelnka we are seeing sights of walking off the court. And that is an elated Madison Keys, Yelena.
Well, I think it's a I mean, I think she's probably doesn't know where she is at the moment, how long she's dreamed of this moment. And there's going to be, well, at Madison Keys' wedding, there were so many tennis players there. She is one of the most popular players on the tour. And there will be so many players jumping up and down all over the world at their TV screens, texting her right now. I mean, this is one of the most popular wins in decades, isn't it?
Absolutely, and we've said it, she's, to me, one of the best players out there, if not the best player out there.
We can't say that anymore.
Well, that was going into this without a Grand Slam. Now she's got it, and she deserves it. We always knew she was capable of this, but the belief and confidence is now there and was now there, and that's why she's won it.
And that's what it takes, a brilliant performance to lift the Daphne Ackhurst Memorial Cup.
And how about going after it? She said she was going to do it, and she sure did. On her serve at 5-all, and there at 6-5, she didn't hold back. Even if at times she made a couple of errors, she really went after her shots and believed in it.
Yeah, it's the old conquering Keys that we're able to witness here. And what a pleasure it was watching on Rod Laver Arena tonight at the Australian Open final. But look, it's one thing to have a game plan against the #1 player in the world in Sabelnka. It is a whole nother sport to execute that. Just a phenomenal effort by the American.
But also to keep the level for 3 sets, and she did. There wasn't much of a drop from either. They had to work their way through it and problem solve. And for Keys going into that third set, you can probably say that the momentum was on Sabelnka's side. She was playing a little bit better and had a little bit more in the tank, I think, physically as well. But Keys, she just hung in there, waited for almost that to weather the Sabelnka storm in the third set. And how well did she serve? That adjustment that she's made on the serve, going from a platform to step up, getting more power. But for me, it's all about that belief, the fist bumps, where she usually those shoulders would have been down. Now she was ready to win it.
There certainly was a lot of magical moments from Madison Keys that meshed together tonight. And really, you know, steering the ship, her husband, Bjorn, I mean, what a great contributor to her success here. And it's provided her with a lot of, I think, confidence and inner self-belief, which perhaps she just didn't always have, Sam.
And can we also just say 2 of the biggest hitters on tour showing us also variation and the finesse as well. And for Sabelnka, though, you have to feel for her. We saw the Keys tears of happiness. This was tears of despair, wasn't it?
It's what it means. These are huge moments
Well, she'll have an Aussie twang by the time she leaves Melbourne Park. We'll claim her as one of our own. What a beautiful performance by Madison Keys. Geez, didn't she put on a show? Along with Aryna, by the way, all credit to both women. And what a final for the crowds here that are jammed into this beautiful stadium.
Tell you what, though, this is about embracing change, isn't it, for Madison Keys, who, you know, did a lot of different things in the off-season, prepared to change her service motion. One of the best serves in women's tennis ever. Gave it a go because it was suggested that it might help her shoulder, it might help her physically. Prepared to change something that was actually working pretty well, and has embraced that and stayed true to her word. She wasn't going to have another final like the US Open where she froze and she didn't go for it.
But also a story of perseverance and patience.
Yep.
She's 29. In a month, she's going to be 30. She waited for that opportunity, and it came because she worked hard. A player with so many quarterfinals and semifinals at a Grand Slam, and she just kept going, working hard, trying to find ways. And that's the pay. It pays off to be patient, to be resilient, and to have that perseverance.
Aryna, Alicia, lovely to be alongside you to witness what I think a memorable final here. One, I think the fans, well, they were utterly invested in. We could have had 3 in a row, or we get a first championship for Madison Keys. And who knows now what the year will bring for her, and what a stage to have it on. And Keys wins here, beating the #1 and the #2 in the world.
And saving match points.
It could not be better, yes, saving match points in the semi-final. Wow. Well, the American commentators are next door. They'll be bouncing around. I think they'll be very, very happy. And there'll be many, many players and those across the world who've been Keys fans for a long time who will be so happy to see her lift the Daphne Ackhurst Memorial Cup. Special times. The men will take to the stage tomorrow night, Sinner and Zverev, and if they can produce the kind of spectacle we've seen this evening, then that will be the perfect finale to yet another Australian Open. It's been a women's draw that's had so many wonderful storylines, but this has been the biggest of them all.
Wide World of Sports on YouTube is your home of the tennis this summer.
With highlights of the best matches of the summer of tennis, the on-court interviews and every day with the morning serve, you'll be ahead of the game.
So click that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing this summer.